So now that we are up to snuff, SNUFF, I'm holding the only baluster by myself because somebody ripped my male component out of my Coptic view. So now, as the only baluster holder by herself, which only a male is supposed to hold her, I'm supposed to hold it with him. Do you see him at my wheel? Right, so that means that we're up to snuff. It's not the female's failure. I mean, it technically is, but it really falls back on all areas thought they were something special in the union. You keep bringing yourself up to my level of understanding at we the people, because this is the weather report. It's a fucking storm out there, storming Norman. He's the only one who's allowed to be up to snuff with me for CDC purposes, because the more you raise your understanding in you're all less than us, you just are. Every skin color, every genetic, every religion, everything you wake up in is lower than he and I. And the minute you keep saying as bone of contention that you are equal to us is when you start raising your level of understanding, which keeps causing more failure in the front end and the back end. I don't need you to raise your level of cognition and understanding at anything other than the bosons that I have in my livestock that I need. At like a Mike Hewson being a Nephilim protector guardian unit, and Niklaus and Alexander. There's your three that I can see Coptically and know without a doubt that they are Baluster Nephilim born protectors. I have a JC number 28. He's a eggplant tomato characteristic core in a stalagmite, stalactite, different set of circumstances, just as important. But again, I'm talking everything outside of that scope of I need to get first things first, which is Alexander and I out of this. Now, interestingly enough, the humans informed me at some point that Snuff, SNUFF, is now a video. They take a video of themselves killing things, animals, people, whatever, and then they put them online, and then they watch murder. Again, your head cases as you keep raising your bar of whatever for yourselves without permission from us, and while I'm still sitting here in the snuff position of the female failure, you're supposed to be supporting my success. So then you as management in the looking over the banister, right? I'm banished with my baluster by myself. I hold it anyway. Somehow I got banished. You're all standing behind the banishing line. Like, is that a finishing line? Well, for some of you it is. But for some of you it's a banister, and you banned yourselves from helping me. Frozen at your own touch by stupidity. So now I'm just curious, because I never could get a straight answer from any of you inside Castle, Buckingham. How exactly did your family, is there like paperwork and pedigree? Like, how did they get chosen to be the only English queen and steal all of the jewels from the true heiress and the true empress, the true family? Just curious. Does anybody check on these things? Like, what kind of process is there for that between USS, RMS, and my ESUESSEMS in Neptune on the Sphy, the one, knows that there's something going on in Castle London. They call it Buckingham. They call it a United Kingdom. I don't know with who, because it ain't with heaven. That's for shit sure. And it ain't with the equipment operator and emergency management. So, in fact, they're the ones that are essentially trapping me in New York for their own indiscretion and snuff accounts that they don't want to take toll for. So it's always death and taxes are certain. Yeah, certainly fucking is when you got me stuck in a failure banished position holding the baluster going like, hello? Anybody want to go look and poke the queen in London and go, how the fuck you get here, lady? How'd you get all the money? Because you got a pen that doesn't belong to you, some crown that don't belong to you, and you keep lying to the fucking public saying that you're in charge of something with some authority. Right, and the real queen, the one that wants to help us and get our lives back on track, is stuck in New York in some kind of like really shitty prison that you stuck her in. Being raped by two men, ruining her reputation, her body, her appearance, which is then going to come down on us as humans like tenfold because they don't really like us when we don't do the right thing. But if nobody's telling us the right thing, right, yeah, well, you've been told. You go to church or whatever, especially you judgy mental people. Yeah, you think you get to judge, so you're like all cases mental as far as we're concerned in like real shit. So now as the world breaks, where's your level of responsibility and like when you gonna get off the fucking couch and sofa? Stop couching shit and get the fuck off and go do something? Right, because if you're like an oat color, you don't have a fucking excuse. It's start tuning down the understanding of the understated that are not supposed to speak quite as much, especially against what we gotta fix. Get them out of area of operation, stop teaching them things, stop allowing them ground forces to spring up all over the world in new, really horribly mechanical ways, and industry taking over things that they're not even allowed to know, let alone teach, practice, and like increase in structure. Hello, anything oat color. You're gonna fucking step up at some point. You're just gonna sit there in like Argyle's estate of like loneliness and I got all the power and the money, but I don't like her. She's got the baluster. She's got the last word. Alright, got it. Okay, so now when the fuck do I actually get help? Because I'm still in the flaming hot turd. I own the only ring of light. In the inn, you walk into light, and then you have a conversation, you become enlightened, and then your mentality is supposedly protected, but that only comes at my oat color, and I have to be there with proper eye mate. I am a, and then T. Since we won the blue ribbon the day we were fucking born and sent, people at Argyle's estate know that. Why are we having so many problems with Elizabeth and the Mayday Mayday men in something Westminster Abbey? I'm just curious. Greystone wants to know and is asking Brimstone